we are going to officially start some seeds, which is very exciting. It's not going to be anything like super special. I'm just going to do a couple poppy flowers and a few herbs and stuff like that. Everything that I'm going to start right now has the potential of probably dying when the baby decides to come. We're not totally sure if we're going to be gone for just a day or if we'll be gone for a week. So we'll see. So I'm going to kind of start with just like the winter sowing method, especially for the poppy seed flowers, because they like the cold weather and they kind of need the cold in order to grow. So I need to get these jugs that I've been saving up cut. Basically, I'm just going to cut about halfway around, and then I can't forget to poke a few holes on the bottom. So I'm going to start just by doing that. Nothing fancy, just kind of bends open like such, which I'm remembering now, it's a lot easier to poke the holes before you cut. So poke the holes first and then cut them open. So got 4 holes on the bottom, and then I cut around the side, and then you just kind of bend that seam so you can open it, and then we'll fill it with dirt. We'll wet some dirt down, fill it up, sprinkle the seeds over, and then we'll close it. And then I'm going to have to find some tape or something. We'll just kind of tape it shut. The caps we do not have, so if we open. And I think what I'm going to actually do too is once the dirt and the seeds are in there, before I close it shut, I'm going to go outside and I'm just going to sprinkle some snow over top of all of it, so that as it's kind of getting hit by the sun, it's just more moisture that kind of gets melted down into the dirt. And then once you close it, it helps trap the moisture in there, but then it also allows it that if there is too much, it can drain out. And then we're just going to let it sit on probably the deck for however long it takes. Then whenever I think about it, we'll check them out. So I'm going to do this to the other, let's see, we have 6 in total, so I have 5 more to cut. Alright, so now that I have all of the milk jugs cut, I'm going to mix up some dirt with some water, just kind of get it wet. And then I'm probably going to fill all of the jugs, and then we'll take out the seeds and we'll kind of see the different colors that I have, because that's, to me, that's the most exciting part. But, so from the summer, I just saved some of the dirt that I had used this last summer. I kind of saved it in these pots and have had it kept in the house here so that it's not frozen or super, super cold. So I'm going to just, but it is, it's extremely dry now though, so we need to get it more wet. So, whew, dusty. So we're gonna get this wet and then fill up the jugs. And I think I should have enough of this. Today kind of felt like the perfect day to be doing this because the sun is just shining so brightly and it's actually above freezing for once. And our 10-day forecast looks like it's going to be above freezing every single day. So it's feeling nice. You know, we're able to have windows open if we want to and just get in the sunshine and the fresh air. So it's definitely feeling like spring. Definitely gonna have to mix some more, but it's looking pretty good right now. It's wet, but it's not too wet. And like I said, when I go outside after I put the seeds in there and stuff, and before I tape them up, I think I'm gonna check some snow, because you do want them to stay cold, especially for the poppy seeds. I know that I've read a lot that people just like to throw the seeds just directly into snowbanks and stuff, but we don't really know exactly where we're gonna have everything going this year. It's kind of still up in the air. The garden is definitely going to be the biggest priority for us, but it's just not quite ready yet. So in the meantime, I want to be able to have everything as mobile as possible so that I don't have to, so I can move it around, you know. So once we do decide where it goes, we can put it there. Probably, I don't know. Might do a little bit more than that. That looks good. So we got what? You know, 2.5, 3 inches of dirt tall. I think that'll be a pretty good start. I'm kind of pushing it down a little bit, but I'm not fully packing it. Looks like we might get 3, which is fine. Alright, that one's not filled up quite as much, but we're just going to go with it. Time to switch how I'm sitting. So the 6 jugs are filled. Now, got So I've got some poppy seed flowers that I want to plant in these, and then I also have some like greens. So I have one kale, and then a couple like mustards types. So I think what's going to end up happening is there might only be 2 that have like the leafy greens, and there might be 4 that have the poppy seeds, but I also know that Cody's definitely wanting more food to be planted than flowers, so I might see if I can just split it up half and half. But really, this is the best way that I found that I like to grow poppies, so I'm not going to be too upset if, honestly, I'd be fine with planting all 6 of them as the poppy seeds. So I went through and I decided what's going to go in which jug, and this is kind of what I came up with. So this half are our poppy seed flowers, and then this half over here is kind of like the leafy greens. Yeah, so we've got probably one of my favorite kales ever. This is like a mustard slash spinach. And then here we've got 2 different kinds of mustards, Red Giant and then a Mizuna. And then our poppy seeds. And then this amazing gray. I only have a couple seeds left in that one. I have not gotten a single one of those to grow, so it's a little sad. I don't expect these to actually grow at all, but we're just going to chuck the seeds in there and just, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, so this is what we got going on for these 6 jugs, and then we're going to plant it. I think with all of these ones, I'm going to put the seeds in there, and then I'm going to take just a little bit more of this dirt and kind of sprinkle it just a little bit on top, but the poppy seeds I'm not. Poppy seeds I'm just going to throw on top of the soil and just leave it be. So that's the plan. And I am going to be very generous with these seeds because they are a little bit older. And I feel like I still have a lot of them, so. So that is all of the leafy greens. Now we've got the flowers. Happy. So one of my favorite things ever are lemon poppy seed muffins or like cakes, stuff like that. So it's kind of like a little mini goal of mine to grow enough poppy flowers that I can collect the seeds, and then I don't have to buy poppy seeds at the store. I can just kind of make my own muffins and stuff with my own homegrown poppy seeds, which I think is kind of fun. And I think the flowers are really pretty too, and I like their seed heads. Those are also really cool. So lots of things. Lots of goals. Just kind of takes a while to get there. So I'm not going to cover these with dirt. They're just going to get snow when the time comes, and that's it. So this amazing gray one, they were pelleted seeds, which I didn't realize. And I have heard that when seeds are pelleted, like covered in that coating, they tend to dry out and they don't have as long of a lifespan, that the seed's actually viable. So, you know, that's kind of one of the reasons that I'm not going to be too hopeful. Oh, there was way more in here than I thought, but I don't know. I think it'd be nice to get some, but I'm not going to really be hopeful about it. If we don't, we'll just try again later. We'll buy some more and try again. The jugs are done. Now we just need to bring them outside, put a little bit of snow on them, probably put a little bit of tape just to keep the covers on, and then they just get to sit outside until they decide to grow, and we know where to put them, and then we will transplant them out of here into the ground somewhere. So the next stuff that I'm going to plant are just some herbs and whatnot, and I'm going to put them in some of these containers, which I'm super excited to try out. But I'm not just going to use the same dirt that I was using for the jugs. I'm going to use some of this like seed starting type mix that I got at the store. But this stuff doesn't have any like nutrients or anything in it. It's really just super fine and fluffy and light, so that the seeds can grow. So I think what I decided I was going to do is I'm going to use some of this dirt, but I'm kind of sifting it through the bottom holes of this pot. We have some hardware cloth, so we do plan on making like a frame with that on there so we can do like a big sifting job. But I just don't have that right now, and I don't have the energy to go make that really quick to continue this project. So instead, I'm just going to kind of sift it a little bit through the bottom of this pot, and then hopefully this dirt kind of gives it a little bit of extra nutrients. And I'll kind of do a little bit of mix of this stuff along with that, and then this way we're at least keeping it still pretty fine. So I got this all sifted, and it's super nice now. Really, really fine. And then we're going to open this up, and we're going to kind of put a bunch of that in here. It's probably going to be more than 50-50. We're probably going to do a lot more of this stuff than this, but I think it's a pretty good outcome. I'm happy with that. I'm trying not to make this hole too big because I'm not going to be using a lot of it today, so I don't want it to be spilling all over the place. Now, this dirt I brought inside, and I've had it inside for a while. This big block has been sitting outside, so it is a bit frozen, I guess you could say. Not too bad. Let's see if we can just tip it. It is actually really heavy. We'll start with that. There we go. So like I said, I just didn't want to make that hole any bigger because I don't actually want it to easily come out because we're probably not going to touch this for like another month. We're really just doing a little bit right now. And then most of it's just going to wait until after the baby comes, and then we'll start a lot more at that point. But for right now, we're just going to do a few things. So hopefully this doesn't spill and make a mess in the meantime. So I'm really excited about these because they come with like the bottom thing for bottom watering. And then they're squishy, so you can kind of just like pop them out. I think that's going to be really awesome. I think it should work pretty well. I think I had the perfect amount of soil made up too, because then this I'll use to sprinkle over the top again once I get those seeds planted. So now's the hard part. We kind of have to figure out what I'm going to put where. But here's my pack of seeds that I kind of want to do for this. So this is kind of what I'm thinking. I've got, let's see, so this bundle, I think are going to be a little bit more cold tolerant. And then these are the ones that aren't going to be quite as cold tolerant. So I'm debating having these go in one tray and having those go in another tray. And let's see how many we've got. 6. So I have 6 here. And then I have 7. What if I do... We'll do 8. So I'll do these 8 in the green, and then these 5 I'll put in the orange one. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So these are the ones that are a little bit more cold tolerant, I'm assuming. At least they're the ones that I've had back in Wisconsin, that I've planted them. And then the next year they keep coming up and keep coming back. So I'm just going to go with it. And we're going to see how they do up here. So I've got just some common chives, which I know those are going to do great here. We did get some garlic chives from a neighbor, but we don't have any just regular chives. So I figured I'd throw some of these in there. This will probably, because we only have 8 slots in our tray. So the chives is probably going to be one that I just do like 1 cell worth, and I'll just put a couple seeds in that 1 cell. And then the spearmint is probably going to be another one that I just do 1 cell of. Cody does not like spearmint. I really like mint. I tried it, not this last year, but the year before, back in Wisconsin, I tried it. And I was able to get it to grow. I never did anything with it though. So I'm going to grow it again. And then the goal is to actually do something with it. So that's that one. And then these ones I'll do 2 cells of each of them. So I just have oregano, thyme, and then some tarragon, which tarragon came back like a beast. Actually, all 3 of these have come back like beasts for me. And I think they're kind of ones that you have a hard time getting rid of. So At least that's my experience with them. We'll see what they do up here. So these are each going to get 2 cells. So I'm going to make the tags first, and then we will plant them. Ooh, these ones are tiny. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, they're so little. You always know they're little when you see a little plastic bag inside of the cardboard or the paper. Oh my gosh. They're so tiny. Alright, so now this one's pretty much good to go. We just need to water it in. This is what we've got going on with this tray. I've got, so this, I don't even know what you do to like use this. I'm guessing teas or something. Homegrown tea, yeah. I like to just take it and just crush the leaves and smell them whenever I'm outside. I think this has like the best smell ever. It's by far my favorite. It just kind of smells like a cleaning product. But I really, really, really like it. So I'm just growing this one for the smell, to be honest. And then, I don't know, we might experiment and see what else we can do with it. Then we've got some rosemary, parsley, some chamomile, sage, and then I've got 3 different kinds of basils. So I've got this basil, which I don't know if this is just your basic basil. It's the one I've had. And then I've got a purple variety because colors are fun. And then I decided that I'm going to try out this lime basil. Because honestly, basil isn't my most favorite thing, especially like just fresh. So I figured if I got like a lime, I was interested to see how the lime flavor, how strong or how subtle it was, and if I might like basil a little bit better with that one. So I'm going to try that one out too. I have 8, if I counted right, so each one's going to get 2 cells in this one. So again, same thing like with the last tray. I'm going to put all the seeds in here, and then if any of the seeds are a little bit bigger, I'll come back through, sprinkle some dirt over top, and then I'll go get the water and we'll water all of them in nice and good. This one needs just a little more. right, and this tray is also done. Woo! Feels good. Be planting some stuff. So now I'm gonna go get my little water, and then we'll water them all in. And I'm kind of debating, I might get some plastic and just put some plastic over them. So this is my little bottle water. You just kind of squeeze it and it shoots out a little stream. I really like this because it doesn't, like, I don't know, instead of like using a water bottle or watering, it's just way too much for, especially with these little trays. So this is pretty precise. I also use this for all of my succulents and my aloe too. My hand is cold now. So I couldn't find the tape. I put the snow in there, and normally at this point I would get a little bit of tape, like duct tape or something, and kind of keep it on so that the lids stay actually on top of there. But I'm just gonna have to do it later once I do a little bit more digging, which probably won't be the worst thing because the dirt was already starting to dry out a bit by the time I got the snow on there. So I might just let the snow melt for today, and then I might do one more round of throwing a little bit more snow in. But this is something that I am going to have to still watch to make sure that none of it dries out. Once it gets taped, you know, it should help try to trap a lot of the moisture in there. But the lids are open, so they can get some airflow and stuff. So it won't be perfect. So I just need to make sure that I remember to keep an eye on it. Otherwise, looks like this project is done.